Welcome back to another episode of Northumberland County Farmers Market Podcast. I'm Rebecca, also known as the Naughty Jam Lady. Be sure to like and subscribe for more. Also, it's called NoCoFM Pod on Instagram, if that's what you're looking for. Oh, it's called that too on YouTube because I couldn't make that huge name go on YouTube because that would just be crazy. I'm not like that. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about the market vibe makers, the people who bring the ambiance, who set the tone, the musicians that you see gigging at the market. That's who we're going to be talking about today, which is a lot of fun. I didn't realize how much went into it. I actually had to message a couple people and ask a couple of questions, and for something like this, that's a first. However, first we're going to talk about today's sponsor, who is Basoli Sauces. Family recipes passed down from their grandmother using real fresh ingredients, 100% olive oil, no preservatives, and in small batches. Yes, please. That's amazing. I'm pretty sure they're mainly gluten-free as well. Which as a late in life celiac, I really appreciate that. You wouldn't believe how hard it is for me to find stuff to eat. Which sounds crazy. She can't find anything to eat. They're called grocery stores, Beck. Anyway, they offer the classics like butter chicken, vindaloo, and tikka masala. I actually have, and their grandmother's recipe, which is called Malai sauce. I love this so much. I think it's their most popular sauce because, grandma, she's lived a life. She knows things and she makes them delicious. Anyway, that's the Malai sauce. These things are so helpful. You literally go home, cook the meat and the veg, throw the sauce on, simmer 5-10 minutes, whatever, serve with rice and pasta. Boom, done, dinner. Love it. They also have prepared meals. So you can also get a jar like this that has like chickpeas in it or beans. But anyway, if you go online, you can find the whole selection. I also have the sweet mango chutney here, which is really cool because this sauce is so versatile. This chutney, I should call it. It's so versatile that you can put it on ice cream and you can also eat it with chips. Like, okay, I eat it with corn chips because, hello, celiac. But you can eat it with corn chips and it's delicious. And it's like sweet and like a little savory, but not too savory. It's very good. I highly recommend it. And when I went to go pick those up from Pam, she was the owner, operator, chef, creator, amazing lady that is Pam. She was in the factory making more and she was filling more jars. And when I showed up and I pulled up and I got out of my car, this whole waft of spices hit me and I was like, oh, I'm in heaven. I want to just live here. Can I bottle that and use it as a perfume? I would seriously walk around smelling like curry all day if I could. Beautiful curry spices like that. Oh, yes, please give it to me. And she looked so cute. She had her little white outfit on with little stains from cooking on it. I'm like, that's the sign of a real chef. I've seen Ratatouille. I know you're supposed to have clean sleeves and a dirty apron. And that's what she looked like. Anyway, right now, 20% off the website and free shipping over $75 for the next week. Okay, so after we're done here, you're going to get off, you're going to go online, you're going to go boop, 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 type in basolisauces.com. It's BASOLI sauces.com. Thanks again, Basoli. I really appreciate it. Pam, you're the best, babes. And so I guess we got to get to the music. Okay. I was curious about how people end up at the market singing. I was wondering how they found them, where they went to. So I sent out some emails to some market managers to find out the goods because I didn't know. And they both kind of said the same thing at first. They said that other vendors suggest people for singing and performing at the market. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. They travel all over the place. Of course, they would see a lot of people gigging at the markets. One, however, did specify they don't like country music, which in the country, that does seem a little bit like, that's not right. But anyway, it doesn't matter because the tunes at that market are very, very good, I will say. And the other one said that they like to encourage young musicians to come to the market and perform. And which I think is very cool. And, it's really hard. You're young, you're trying things out, you're talented, you don't know where to go. Go to your local farmer's market. Do a little sing-song, do a little strum on the guitar, a little piano, a little keyboard action. Good experience. And you get out for the day and it's not like doing hooligan things that only hooligans would do. I don't know. I wasn't a bad kid, so I just assumed that people did like hooligan-y things that from time to time. Anyway, some of my favorite performers that I've seen at these markets, one of them's Carl Cotton. I cannot talk about this kid enough. I call him a kid. I think he's like early 20s now. I'm not sure. But he's absolutely adorable. He's somewhere between like a Jack Johnson, Maroon 5. That's little Bruno Marzi. He's a bit croony, but like soft crooner. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I believe he's in college now doing like musical theater stuff or like at least singing or something like that because this kid's talented. You should definitely check him out. He performs, I've seen him perform at the Coburg Farmers Market, but I'm pretty sure he's doing other gigs other places. Just give a little Carl Cotton, spelt just the way it sounds, on Instagram, and you should be able to find him. There's also, oh my gosh, okay, so one day I'm at the market. This guy, he gets a whole pre-story, okay? I was at the market and I looked over and there was a guy walking around in like a wedding venue vest. Do you know what I'm talking about? They were like really shiny. The front was red and the back was black silk. There was silk. And I was like, huh, what's going on there? What's happening there? And he got up and he got a microphone. He started singing Ian Roy. He sings everything from Roy Orbison to Elvis, not the crazy years of Elvis, like the playful fun years of Elvis. He's very good and he's very captivating. He's not like your traditional sort of singer. But he got up there, he had his little hips, he just swinging those little old man hips. He's an old dude. He's definitely definitely retired many years. And he does a really good job. I've seen him perform in Codrington at Codrington Farmers Market, and he was just adorable. And whenever he comes, I'm like, oh, he's so handsome in his little vest. But I think it's good. A lot of people, actually, I want to say a lot of people don't get out when they're older, but that's not true around here. Like it's a thriving senior scene out here. I tried for numerous years to get my mother to move out here because she would make an absolute killing. My mom's like a seniors fitness instructor now. Whew, if she came out here, she would be as rich as the guys from the band Kiss. I'm telling you, there are so many different seniors programs out here that she could teach and like go along with. Anyway. And she'd probably date more, but, better watch it. So I liked Ian Roy. And who else oh, gosh, I really love Faruka's duo. If you haven't seen them, they do Latin music. It's phenomenal. Also because you don't hear a lot of Latin music around here. So it's a little bit of like somewhere else, which I really love. George, who's half of the duo, does like guitar and the Andean flutes. Oh my gosh, every time I see these things, I get so excited. They look like an old-fashioned Ocarina of Time from Zelda because they're like this long and they got the little shoots and then you stand and you go, hoo, 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 hoo. Very cool. And then there's also Laura is the other half of the duo. And when Laura starts singing, oh, you're immediately transported somewhere warm and wonderful. And it just is like, excuse me, sir, may I have a pina colada, please? Like, that's how I feel when she starts singing. And it makes me, and you do, do. Oh, so good. I highly recommend. They are also on Instagram. If you're not following like the Coburg Farmers Market or the Codrington Farmers Market or your local farmers market, you should be because they usually post up the musicians who are going to play that day. And you can decide like, that's a vibe I like, and decide to go down and check it out. So that's what's going on with the music. The worst thing about the music that ever happened around me was a band showed up late for the market. And they got all hooked up and the market opened and they started playing and they were so loud. Like obnoxiously loud. Like to the point where I couldn't hear the customer in front of me. And the table's only like 2.5 feet wide and I couldn't hear the person. So I was not happy. A lot of the vendors weren't happy because it's like, you're not here to do a gig. Like, I know you're here to do a gig, but you're not here to do a gig. Music at the market is setting ambiance. You're supposed to be like background, like a lovely background noise. This isn't like your time to shine sort of thing. You're just supposed to make it pleasant so that people can still hear each other and go shopping and have some beautiful music on in the background. Anyway, so when they finished, I like ran over to the manager. Of course I did. That's who I am. And I was like, oh no, 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 no. And they were like, it's okay. I got it. I got it. I got it. And I was like, okay, okay. And then sure enough, they had them turn it down and stuff. But in my opinion, you can't do anything worse than cranking those tunes while people are trying to shop. I have to use my voice to get people to come over to me. Otherwise, it's a table of jars. Why would you come to a table of jars? That doesn't make any sense. Even if there is a cute girl behind it, like trying to feed you. That's just weird. You'd be like, what is she trying to feed me? So, but I also have to say that like the positioning of the musicians is important too. And I let managers know, like when I show up at a market, I'm like, don't put me near any music because I will ruin their sets. I am that lady who's like, you guys want to try some naughty jam? Hey, you look like you want some naughty jam. You want something sweet, honey? Like that's going to ruin someone's musical set. I'm so loud and I do that on purpose. I don't crank out this jam every week for it to come home with me. I want it to go out and see the world and fly and enjoy. I don't want it to come home with me. I want it to go home with you. So I'm a little bit loud when I'm at markets, but you know, we all have our things. So that's what's going on. If you wanted to do music at the market, I'm pretty sure all you have to do is go up to the managers and see if they have any availability and just explain what you're up to and what you like. I would bust out my kalimba right now that I've been playing with lately, but I haven't been playing with it enough to know how to actually play it. I just flung it. Fling-a-ling, fling-a-ling. I know I've done another video on that before here. But since we're talking about markets, of course, with market season coming up, it opens in May, by the way. The first one I'm going to be at is the Coburg Farmers Market on the first Saturday of May. And then I'm going to be at the Codrington Market, which is the first Sunday of May, because I want to go back and say hi to all my regulars and see how everyone's doing and shoot the you-know-what with my buddies, my other buddies at the vendors, because I don't really see other vendors during the off-season. I think I've seen one. I see Lisa Giraldi from Codrington. I met her at Coburg, eh? Yeah, it was love at first sight when I saw her, and she was so cute with her hair up in a bun, and she had like a bandana around her head, and she had like galoshes on, and I was like, who are you? You look like a lot of fun. And she's like, I'm Lisa, I bake. And I was like, oh, I'm Rebecca, I make jam. And it's been a love affair ever. Actually, I've just been stalking her, the poor girl. She can't get away from me. But it's a nice way to make friends. If you're new to the area, go to the local farmers market. It's way better than going to a bar. You just meet people who are like having a really good time at a bar. Whereas when you meet people at the farmers market, it's more like, oh, we're normal humans. We're not all like hopped up on stuff. It's the new adult way to make friends. Go to the local farmers market. Also, I have a very funny story for you. So I think it was like in October. Okay, so it starts dark. Viewer discretion is advised, or rather your ears are advised. I have a back door that we use all the time coming in and out of our house, and it has like a sliding window where you have to like click it and then put it up like that. You know what I'm talking about? They're old-fashioned windows, and they go click and then they stay put. Anyway, I came in the door. I went to push the door closed, and my hand actually hit the screen of the window, not the door at all. And so when I pushed the screen, the window unlatched, and it got my finger. Actually, got two of my fingers actually. And I was like, oh, and I'm certain I broke something. Of course, I didn't go to the doctor like a responsible person would because I was busy at the time and I couldn't take care of myself. But I was very scared because I've never hurt a fingernail like that before. So, of course, I went to the farmer's market and I was all nervous about it. And I was writing things online like, you better come. I don't know how much jam I can make with these broken fingers, blah, blah, blah. And this lovely woman, Barb, came to see me. Now, Barb has come a couple of times to my table to buy some jam. Lovely lady. She bought one of those cool denim jackets from the lady at Codrington who takes denim jackets and she puts like lace on them and stuff. And I was like, that's a wicked jacket. And she's like, Codrington. And I was like, I got to get there. Anyway, so Barb comes by my table and she checks my hand and she goes, I think it's going to be fine, honey. Like, you're going to be okay. I'm like, is it gangrene? And she's like, it's not gangrene. And she's like, you're going to be perfectly fine. Don't worry. My sister's a nurse. And I'm like, okay, as long as I'm going to be all right. She's like, it's going to grow out, then it's going to fall off, and it's going to be okay. And I was like, all right. So she was very sweet. She gave me a big hug. And I was like, oh, I really needed that hug. You don't even understand. And then she went on her way. Anyway, the Codrington Farmers Market comes up a couple months later, and it's first thing in the morning. Market hasn't even opened yet. I've got all my stuff on the table. I've made a bucket load of jam because I know like it's going to be a busy day. Codrington Christmas Market, whew, that's a market to go to. It's amazing. And I'm standing there, and she shows up with her husband, Al. And they come over, and hi, how are you? Huggies, huggies. And she goes, I brought something for you. And I was like, you did? And she's like, yeah, I did. And I was like, that's so sweet. So she checked my hand very quickly and she's like, no, it looks good. I'm like, thanks. Then she hands me this. Can you see that? Look at how beautiful that is. Apparently, her husband, Al, makes these wooden boxes. And when you open it and you look inside, there's a little paper that says what kind of wood it's made with. This one was made with cherry, walnut, maple, and birch. Beautiful, all my favorite trees. And, pardon me, and it's just gorgeous. I don't keep anything in this box. I love it so much that I don't want to put anything in it that's going to wreck it. So I'm still deciding what I'm going to put in it. But Al, puts his name and the year that it was made and the number of the box on the bottom of the box. And she goes, my husband Al makes these boxes and he gives them to people who bring him joy. And I told him to give me a box so I could give it to you. And I thought, oh, Barb. And then I started to get all choked up. It was a bit of a rough year last year. So when she said this to me, I started to get all, and I'm like, gosh darn it, Barb. People aren't even here yet. You're going to ruin my makeup. It was very sweet. I loved it so much. And I was, of course, I was like, take some jam home. Take some jam home. Thank you so much. So now I have this beautiful box. And this was just someone that I met at the market. Okay. I'm not joking. Like, this is a real story. This actually happened. So that's my beautiful box that I usually keep upstairs in my bedroom. And my son likes to come in and lift it and see if there's anything in it yet. And when there's nothing in it, he just puts the lid back on and toddles away. But the best part about this story is that Barb and I are actually technically related and we didn't know. Oh, it's so good. Okay, so my husband has an Uncle Jim. Uncle Jim is not related to him, okay? Uncle Jim is a friend of his dad and his mom. And Uncle Jim has been coming to the family parties for years. I've been around this family like 15 years now, okay? Well, isn't Jim Barb's brother? We had no idea because it's not like Barb is coming to Jim's friends' families' parties or whatever. Anyway, it was hilarious. When we finally figured that out, the two of us were like, oh my gosh. And she was like, that's so crazy. And I was like, I can't believe it. Anyway, so that's how I met Barb. And that's how I'm related to Barb and had no idea about it. And I didn't even meet her until I went to a market. Hilariously, there's like 5 children, 5 siblings. And she's like, I think she said she's the youngest. Right, Barb? Anyway, so these markets are really sweet and you can really make some proper friendships at them. And I really quite enjoy going to them. So that's today in the music and all that fun stuff. Next week on the podcast, NoCoFM podcast, we're going to be doing dogs and kids at the market and some of the features to keep the tinies busy. And maybe a few things you can do to help vendors because we'd really appreciate it. Sometimes dogs and or kids can get into funny situations and we don't fully feel comfortable like reprimanding or like touching your kids because like, you know what I mean? I don't mean it like that. I mean like if they fall down and stuff. 2 tricks to kind of like use to manage both of them, I'm going to suggest. But those tricks might actually suggest that I'm actually in my villain era. So you can be the judge of that next week. Special thanks again to Basoli Sauces. I'll tag the website below so you can find them really easily. Because you got to try this. You got to try this. Once upon a time, I was helping out Pam at a market in Oshawa. I went because this is how popular she is. She was at so many different markets, and I decided to go sell for her. And a gentleman came up and he was also celiac. And when he found out that you could eat them, he bought like 8 of them. And I was like, haha, there's a deal when you buy 8. And he really liked that. And of course, like, he was a guy. He doesn't want to sit there and try to make his own sauces. He'd rather just, cook his chicken and throw the sauce on top. Which, I mean, quite honestly, who wouldn't? I will make curries from scratch, but I don't want to. I just want to open a beautiful jar and then delish, So thanks again for joining me. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow on Instagram. I'm Rebecca, the Naughty Jam Lady, and I'll check you again on Friday. Cheers.